Very clean 2v2.
And this is starting to look a little bit problematic for JiJieHao now. That buy round was supposed to be the start of better, and it did look a bit better, don't get me wrong. They get out onto the site, they put it into a winnable situation, but it does not last long. And Sora are just looking like the better team here, and I think the expected better team. I think there's an added element to the fact that, you know, Sora high in the rankings, they're looking to make the major. For JiJieHao, like, they're miles off from that being a possibility. And, you know, you've got to just lock in and win games like this. If you're looking at it as like the prospect of, yeah, we're competing against all of the teams around us, which is like VP, Ninja Pajamas, Heroic, are like sat next to them in the rankings, to take a major spot. When it comes to games like this, you got to just sweep them under the rug, right? These have got to be just like comfortable 2-0 games that you win. And if these ones get complicated, then I think you sort of chalk yourself up and realize maybe you're undeserved for that major spot in the new system where it's oh so hard to get it. Asamus. Let's find a nice entry. It's the first for them, but they've already taken 2 casualties. Oh, chance for another. Oh, Crazy's not going to give him the opportunity. So 50 seconds, and they'll start to regroup up short.
Story waiting to clothesline, recedes, has a little bit of backup as well. 2 shots popped off already. And this is a much more potent Dust 2 than I was expecting. The individuals from Saw are looking so damn good at the moment. I mean, Story, every single time he's given an opportunity to get his hands dirty, you can see him not miss a singular shot. There it is, bang, like easy pickings for him. And what's funny is that he did that on middle as well, right? Where when things are getting complicated, he knows exactly when to back off. He knows when to turn down the heat. And I think that difference in between JiJieHao and Saw, just a big difference of the AWP players at the moment, is leaving JiJieHao a bit high and dry. I know one of the points you made earlier was that if there is a map that you're going to start on the disadvantageous side of, it has to be Dust 2, right? Because at least they're a little bit more balanced. But for JiJieHao, now they're getting a little bit desperate. Straight out of middle, but they're still getting punished. Crazy, single-handedly holding down the B site. And I thought they'd get a little bit further than this, Josh. Especially with the opening kill. They've taken down the Juggernaut, but little do they realize that his underlings are also incredibly hard to deal with.
Hey, geez, good to be fair. Lisa's found himself a rifle. I mean, if he finds that kill, then it gets a little bit easier, but that's not going to happen. Aragorn just stays locked in. Gets himself a double. He's only died once. JiJieHao are going to call a tactical pause because ultimately not only are they not winning rounds, but they're not getting kills. And the big hitters, Mini and Bibu, the 2 that I was putting up on this pedestal and bigging up in the pregame, are both at 0 and 6. It's effectively a 3v5 right now. Sora have just got all the answers.
I mean, I'm not really sure what the answer is for JiJieHao. I mean, I was getting very excited to watch the individuals, but when you've got two players that haven't broken past a singular kill, this is one of the roughest games I've ever watched. Do I get to at least cope and say that at least Osama's is playing alright?
Yeah. Yeah, you put the spotlight on the right man. Because he's the only one that's really shooting back at the moment. There is still time to recover this. I think 6-0 is by no means a done deal yet, but it is just the way that the rounds are going, right? Sometimes you see, I mean, we see 6-0 scorelines actually quite often in CS2, but a lot of the time they're closer rounds, and you sort of think, right, it's only a matter of time before, you know, we see a bit of a resurgence, but this is just dead in the water. I mean, this is a buy round from JiJieHao. They've not dealt a single point of damage. I'm not even sure if anyone's fired a bullet on the T side. Just one by one, walking up short. Being munched up by the Orpa story. For Issa, it's a no-brainer to save, but the problem is with that is he's got no money. 50 bucks in the bank. The rest of the team are on max loss, but I don't think they're going to go for a full buy with Galils, so it's just going to be pistols and armor. And Issa will probably be on a Galil himself in the next round, unless he gets a couple of kills or a bomb plant or something in this one.
Up in a short we go. Consistently feels like JiJieHao are walking into a pond with rocks taped to their body. Sinking within seconds as soon as they enter a round. Not really sure what the solution even is. They managed to get a kill from one of the flanks, but there's already a second player ready with the clothesline. Double kill found by Agile. And at least they've divided the map into two. Allows them to get that bomb down at the very least. And both of the remaining players are quite healthy. So I want to see if they can still do something about it. Issa starting to creep forward. Lowest HP player taken out. Now they're stuck in between two places. This might finally be a round for the taking for JiJieHao. And look at how Muter has just tried to navigate through the doors. It's a good round from JiJieHao. But man, did it require a lot of heavy lifting from the individuals. Mini finally online. 2 kills, sure, but that was much needed.
Normally I say, oh, it's been a long time coming, but it didn't really feel like that one was coming, did it? It just sort of came out of nowhere, but it was required. And finally put something on the board for Mini, as you say. Might get him fired up. Let's try and do a little bit more. Or onto the angle. There you go. Now he's in his groove. It's a great shot onto Story. It gives them the man advantage. Still going to see more out of Bibu, of course, but Mini has woken up. JiJieHao might be able to actually take a little parcel of rounds here at the end of the half and give us maybe an 8-4 or I guess 7-5s. Perhaps pushing it. Muteris begs to differ. What is that transfer for the second head?
Getting early control of short has consistently been the theme. JiJieHao, now they've got a 2-man vertical stack setup. You just can't get past short. No matter how hard you try, they're going to try and flush them out with Molly and nade combos. Now this is the time that is right for them to scale up short, but Issa waiting to receive Aragorn as he backs up into long. He did not stand a chance. Still kind of a doable round by Crazy though.
Yeah, it feels that way with Mini and Bibu so low. Just got to find the timings. Oh, he's seen the barrel. Mini, huh. Very strange. All right, well, there's the first head. Knows that Mini's around here somewhere as well, because he saw that barrel, but very, very quick. And yeah, what kind of blew my mind about that is Mini was walking around catwalk, and then just a tiny bit of the AWP barrel poked around the corner. But, you know, he wouldn't have seen the elevator player. And as soon as that happens, it's like he kind of knows that he's been spotted, and he starts pulling it back. I think it was just like very, very sort of awkward timings, I guess. But yeah, had he have taken one step further forward, I think that could have been a very different round. We'll see a sore tactical pause, because yeah, this has gone from them just hard stomping to something very, very different.
You can tell that JiJieHao are now starting to take the breaks away. Switch up their game plan, right into B we go, but they're going to be met with such deadly force. Both Crazy and Agile, pumping them full of bullets. But a 4v3 is what we get before the bomb is even planted. Not going to be easy for JiJieHao to hold on to this, especially with Story taking away Mini already. Come out, stuck with the bomb duty. Forced out of his angle with the Molotov. And as he commits again, Saw should be getting ready for the retake. Oh, dude, how do you even navigate around this?
Yeah.
I mean, I was considering maybe he tries to play around the smoke, but that's not even something Saw are falling for. They still have plenty of time on the clock. They're going to move right in. A little bit of damage, sure, but Bibu's running out of both bullets and health. And that leaves Saw with yet another round, and JiJieHao, a flash in the pan of the grand scoreboard.
It nearly goes wrong again, to be fair, though. And, you know, that's just the sort of epitome of some of these B-site retakes. Saw found themselves with 4 players stacked up outside a door, and it's smoked. You're thinking, right, well, what do we do here? We just got to pop a flash over, run in, and hope that we don't get sprayed down. But yeah, they lose 2 pieces in the process. Still, just the early fights going their way was what made that happen. Double up set up here for the defense. Crazy. Ooh. Isn't going to be the one to draw first blood. It's Mini instead elsewhere. Actually inflicted a lot of damage onto Aragorn, then finished him with the sniper. That's going to give him a lot of space out along if they want it.
I think you and I have the same sentiments about that round. It's just such a punching down, honestly, most of the time. And you can really see the difference between a team like Saw and a team like JiJieHao. Like, okay, I mean, it kind of sucks for JiJieHao that they have to go against some of the best opponents in this entire bracket, but there's obviously a very real, very large difference. And the thing is, right, I think under like a cohesive system, some of the individuals could really thrive. Like obviously, for the likes of Mini, I think if you put him on a better team, like overall, you could have him play against a team like Saw and perform incredibly well. But as of now, like with this particular lineup, like it's going to be really hard to see them make a dent. We've seen them beat the Sucker Shows, we've seen them beat the Johnny Speed, but Saw is still in a slightly different caliber. And you really have to commend Story. I mean, one of the biggest issues on Dust 2 is making sure that that AWP is active, right? 17 and 7, like what are you even supposed to do?
It does feel like he's doing a hell of a lot. I mean, it's felt like Mini's been doing a hell of a lot since waking up with the AWP. He was, what, 0 and 7, 0 and 8? Then the last couple of rounds, he's really sprung to life with that sniper, and he's been finding the entry kills. Right here, he doesn't have the funds for it, so it's just the AK-47, but again, he's the one to draw first blood for the T side. Kumau, up from long, will do the same. HG is lethal onto Bibu, but it won't stop the plant. It does still give them a little bit of equity into this retake, though, if Crazy can hit the shot, which he connects. And now a 2v2. It feels like this has got some wheels behind it again. Saw looking for 10. Ooh.
Two players are fine. Even getting past the ramp player doesn't mean that you'll be able to take the AWP away. The JiJieHao at least get a consolation prize on their way out. But a very difficult half now up ahead of them. I guess the comfort they've got is at least that they get to play CT side now. Still slightly more powerful than the T. Obviously still a very balanced map, but most teams do prefer picking into CT. Technical pause now as we see Bibu having been disconnected. Not really sure what the holdup is. You see the rest of the players taking this moment to stretch their legs a bit as well.
Is Kumau sat on like a sofa? Has he just got lots of cushions on his chair?
Yeah, I think he does.
That is like comfy.
Oh wow,
comfy
and
maxing.
he's also using the wall as support, and now he's browsing YouTube, I think. Oh yeah, he's got a.
Watching his shots back. That's the stream. That's us. That's us live in 4K. Hello, Kumau.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think so because it's like heavily delayed. So
yeah, I mean, I guess.
I don't know why it wouldn't be, but yeah. It doesn't look like it's with malicious intent.
Yeah, I mean, the half is over, so obviously it's not.
Yeah, like
not
money
like
doesn't matter and
adjustment.
stuff, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Feet on the wall, though. My parents used to get pissed at me for that. You know, bare feet on the wall, you like leave marks on the wall. Under my desk was always like the wall was a different color to the rest of the room. Maybe this is his own place. Maybe he makes his own rules.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
you
the
got
bottoms of
scolded
his
for
feet
feet
are
on the
cleaner
wall.
than
I
mine as well.
I got scolded for feet on the ground. They just didn't want me in the house.
Yeah, that came next.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, back to being locked in as Bibu's in the server again and JiJieHao know what's needed from them. First it's a pistol round, then it's a gun round, then it's maybe one more gun round, and then we're in business, and we can start having a conversation about perhaps a recovered game here.
Obviously, the bare minimum here is the pistol round. No mistakes allowed. Need to make sure you can have it under your belt. But so far, everything we've seen from JiJieHao has been largely lackluster, not exactly very confidence-inspiring. And Sar getting ready to send their resources out middle. Smoke's going to disallow Kumao for doing anything, but he does have a nade at the ready. There it is to pop the smoke. Gets an opportunity, takes it by both hands, and now they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. They're stuck between B, middle. They have to deal with players on all angles, and Agile and Muterus, they really have their work cut out for him, but Muterus is still fighting. That's a double. And Agile, opportunity opened up, but against the dualies, that's one. Can he get two? They're both labored, and Agile, my oh my, what a fumble from JiJieHao. They had everything. Look at that, Kumao.
Yeah.
With the opening, with the nade, heads on a swivel as the T scramble to try and get onto B.
So many missed shots as well. B-Boot on any other day just connects the head at the end there, but I think sort of letting the fact that he's really struggled in this map so far get the better of him. Play on his mind that nothing's connecting. And left, right, piercing ears, but not finding kills. Not landing that head. It's rough. Tyrus is going to work his way down. Good entry out of Agile. This is a force from JiJieHao, so, you know, they're kind of throwing all their eggs into one basket here.
I don't really blame them. I mean, you have to try and stop anything beyond double digits, right? And even if you don't immediately do that, you'll still have weapons in the next round because they're not going for exits. But yeah, I think they've already been pushed up too far against the wall to back out now. Like, they're up against the ropes. Punches coming their way. Little room to duck. One of the things I'm really surprised by is that, I mean, you know, you and I were talking about BB's camera and all that. BB's camera, I mean. And why does no one play Subway Surfers on their phone during text? I don't get it.
Yeah, why did he immediately open Google and not watch Family Guy clips instead of the stream for 2 minutes? That's what I'd have done.
I'm watching Family Guy as we speak. Nah, that's a joke, by the way. Please don't fire me.
I wouldn't blame you. It's okay.
I think it would be a lot easier to focus on the game, though.
Talking dog's really funny.
Dude.
Ooh.
I totally lost my train of thought from that dumb conversation we just had.
You look up at the score. Oh, wow, it's 11-3? Really? I'm only halfway through my episode. Been a really quick game.
Season 11, episode 3?
I don't know if there's like a deeper meaning to that.
No, there isn't.
No.
The implication is that my brain is so fried, I can only process things as seasons and episodes of Family Guy.
Okay, understandable. I'm not there yet. I can't afford it, so I have to just watch the compilations on YouTube. I don't know what season.
You have money for the big screen. I have to watch it right on Instagram.
Samus needs to connect some heads here.
They have a good setup here.
Yeah, I mean they do, but only if they're hitting shots. Mini is, to be fair.
Yeah, they are.
Kumail's got to come in. Oh,
dude, 2v2. That's disappointing, especially with how things were starting. Right, Mini was able to clothesline them on the way in. 2v2 now. Scout rifle misses a shot, and of course you can't do anything beyond that. instant connections onto the final player and saw 12-3 as JiJieHao have just crumbled under this pressure. And I was chalking this, I was chalking up the narrative as, oh, at least JiJieHao have some comfortable ground to stand on before they have to go into the rest of the game, right? Like, it feels like Dust 2 was a bit of a non-negotiable, but, you know, the bar has been set quite low on Dust 2, so I think Map 2 is probably not going to be replicated.
I mean, I guess, but it's Nuke up next. JiJieHao will get the CT start, which could then yield some rounds. I think CS2 can just be very volatile. If you're able to win the pistol, then you can take a fair share of rounds, even in a game that you don't have
not bad for Mini.
All too much equity in. But yeah, again, Mini Zorp is doing some great lifting. It's wild to think that he was 0-8. He's now 12-11. He's actually right up at the top of the scoreboard for his team.
And one thing, one of the pieces of potential we'll never get to see in this game is what Mini could have done if they started on the CT side, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
started
we still
on
might.
The CT side and started with like a decent economy established earlier, you know? It felt like round after round they were kind of forcing themselves at it, and you know, the economy was
We
poor.
never really got to see the dynamic between Mini and Story at all. Like, there was never really a real op contest throughout the game. I mean, we might get to see it now, but that's after a while. And that's when they're up against the wall. 8 rounds in a row is an ambitious task when you've got half of that across the entire game.
$12-4. 8 chances to close this out before the prospect of overtime starts looming, and therefore Sora are going to go for a little bit of a funky force buy because they've got a margin for error. They've got rounds to lose if needs be. So 2 Tech-9s, a Galil, an AWP, and an AK. And it'd be cruel if they can finish it in this kind of fashion. Double AWP setup out here for JiJieHao too. It is one of the maps that it is really viable on. We saw Saw wield it on their defensive half as well. The only issue with it is, you know, there's a lot of long-range angles. It is very viable to have an AWP sort of leaning towards mid and one towards the A site or long. However, if you lose B and you're then trying to play for a retake and you got 2 AWPs, it's really tricky. To be honest, you lose either of the bomb sites, you're trying to retake with 2 AWPs. It's awkward, but B especially. It doesn't look like there's sort of a rifle on speed dial in the CT spawn to swap out to, so you just got to hope that one of your teammates dies somewhere convenient enough. So much slower start to the round though, Saw with a minute on the clock. They're just patient.
One by one, they're going to walk into the grinder. And Saw, this probably feels a bit new, doesn't it?
Yeah, really, especially losing around in that kind of fashion. All 5 staying alive for JiJieHao. They'll get a freebie in this next as well. They'll be against a full eco. So move into number 18. I want Saw to just group up here. You got Glocks. Group up, go long. No. My prayers aren't answered. They play their default with Glocks.
Saw looking to basically accomplish nothing here. Wouldn't be surprised if they're using this as a bit of a faux timeout. Get a bit of the conversation flowing. And I can see JiJieHao still being relevant in this game purely because now the individuals are actually shining. But if they had let themselves have a slightly bigger margin, then that conversation would be so much easier. Like if they win the pistol round on the first half as well, you know, just at least a little bit of buffer would have been nice. Bibu. Quick to take the fight. Easy does it. Most of JiJieHao is, most of Saw is just going to evaporate out the server in the first 5 seconds of contact. 6 rounds to go now. The slow climb. And interestingly enough, Saw aren't going to have all the bells and whistles. They're also being a little bit desperate about this, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're sort of jumping the gun with the buy a little bit. Lacking on the util, lacking on the AWP. It does seem like a change of setup, at least with how this round is starting. Mini, oh my god, super aggressive into the lower tunnels. I think that scope might have just been heard, but they give him the fight anyway, try to go for the double peek, and Mini's just too quick, and he's already out of there. Blink and he's gone. He's causing them some real issues, and, you know, as you alluded to earlier, what could have been if they started on their CT side? What could have been if he'd entered into this game with this kind of performance? It does still feel like 6 rounds in a row is a bit of an impossibility, but oh, he's making it seem plausible. This is really tidy stuff out of JiJieHao.
Yeah, the CT side is so much better than anything we've seen. The comfort level is absolutely different. Zoom out. Nearly gets his head clipped. But the fact that he's able to get one more kill means that instead of a 2v2, it's a 3v1. And a much better chance for JiJieHao to keep this ball rolling. 7 rounds now. This scoreline looked so much worse a little while ago. And even if they don't end up closing it out, looks a lot nicer on HLTV, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, it's just going to boost their confidence a little bit before going into map 2. If they'd have got absolutely smoked, remember we saw the 9-3 half, and they fumbled the pistol bad as well, right? If they'd have got smoked and lost this 13-3, I think they'd be going into nuke feeling a little bit, you know, a little bit cold, a little bit sort of defeated. They can pull back some more rounds here and just sort of boost that confidence. They'll go into nuke and they'll say, all right, we were asleep at the wheel at the start of Dust 2, but we're fired up now. Let's go. Should be an easy one against the Tech 9s. They've made light work of the first kill, and Kumel will follow up. Mini as well. These AWPs just blasting through the smoke. Picking their targets off. Story of Midris. Hoping they can do some kind of damage, but it's just not coming.
This is an unreal level of resolve from JiJieHao. And what's really impressive, as you know, you've already talked about how Mini started off, what was that, like 0-8, 0-6, whatever the hell it was, right? It was 0 for a while, and now he's almost up to as many kills as Story. Better KDR even. He's going 17-4 after the first 8 deaths. Unbelievable.
Yeah. With that AWP still out, it makes me worry. It does feel like, even though, you know, Story's the one with a few more kills, it does feel like Mini's winning the AWP battle at the moment. And Story with his own's probably shaking a little bit right now. Worried as to where to take the contact. Worried that Mini Sniper's going to be waiting on the other side of it. Ooh. Can't quite land the shot, but Bibu's there. Ready for the Xbox jump. He's not found too many kills in this game. That's an important one. As will this be for Kumao if he can connect it, and he does, as does Mini elsewhere.
Saw crumbling over and over. This is looking like easy pickings for JiJieHao. And I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth after what we've seen all game, Josh.
Money's weird again. It's got to be another one of those half buys. That's going to give JiJieHao 10 rounds. And okay, there now we can start talking about overtime. We can start talking about this being a real prospect. So we're going to call a tactical pause, realizing this is all going wrong. You know, sometimes it's sort of glaringly obvious. You know, I've had a couple of games in the Swiss stage so far where there's been like very, very clear issues with playing a little bit too slow, and you know, you get onto the bomb site but you don't have time to plant, or the bomb plant gets denied and then no one can pick it up, and it's like really awkward. But yeah, this is the answers aren't right there in front of you, and I think that makes it a whole lot harder. You sort of call these pauses and go, what's going wrong? And everyone just sort of says, well, you know, it seems like anywhere we peek, Mini seems to pick us off with the AWP. Oh, that could have been the answer, but it was Kumao instead. They found the wrong sniper. The threat still looms, but it's a great early advantage.
Many making sure that advantage is going to have a very short half-life. And there it is, man. That's the point I was talking about. Story and Mini now tied for kills, with Mini maintaining much more composure. 12 deaths. Story's completely dropped off the face of the earth after that CT side switch.
Back into a 4-on-4. Mini's just found another. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. When you land the opening scout shot onto the AWP peak in mid and you're just praying it's Mini. You're praying that the threat's neutralized. And you look up in the kill feed and it's Kumao, and you just know it's still going to be a mountain to climb to get this round done. He finds 4, pushes himself 22-12. He's now top fragging on the server after a 0-8 start. This CT AWPing ability is incredible. And saw now 2 more chances. Well, this gets real complicated. Aragorn trying to play around the smoke. Does find a Samus.
Oh, no.
This could be where it ends.
That's the issue, man. Well, you've got no margin. The chaos can suddenly culminate into an end, even if you're playing the better game. Just a couple of kills going awry. Molotov to flush out the Opera. Mini being spammed with bullets as he tries to back away. Still wants to stick around. Knows that if he lets them get control without killing someone, they won't have any stake left in this game. Receding back to Car. Has resources coming to his way now as well. Flank being brewed, but there's already a player in short to deal with that madness.
Oh,
Mini
man.
now finally succumbs to the wounds coming through from the Flames. Kumao, second chance to still make something happen, but he's going to have to worry about short in about 5 seconds. this feels like a checkmate. Especially with Muterus on the case. It was such a valiant effort from JiJieHao. But all good things for them must come to an end. Saw are able to finish their food just fine.
That was a really, really good response at the end there from Saw, though. I think they found the answer eventually. The smoke's out on long, just giving him a little bit of room to maneuver. And yeah, I liked the idea for Mini when he smoked, sort of faked a fall away, then went back to Car. But then when the molly came in, you know, that's where you just hold your hands up and go, oh man, you know, they've messed that up. Story being your MVP, the sniper on the other side that didn't have as many kills, didn't have as many highlights, but is on the winning team. And yeah, just consistency out of Saw throughout the entire map is really what gets that done for them. So winning their opponent's map pick should put them in firm contention for a 2-0 here and a nuke victory to go with it. But I do feel like JiJieHao, as I said before, they're a little bit asleep at the wheel in the first half, but they're fired up now, and maybe they can give us something interesting, especially considering they're starting off on their defense on nuke.
Yeah, I mean, with what they've shown us on Dust2's defense, like, they've absolutely made a good case for themselves heading into Nuke. I'm really looking forward to watching it. And I think, like, given enough margin, like, I think JiJieHao would have absolutely overpowered Saw. Like, that was an abysmal start, of course. But, I mean, both pistol rounds lost. And also, that pistol round was like a 4v2 that they ended up fumbling. Like, if those fumbles don't line up in the spectacularly bad way that they did, we would have seen a different result from JiJieHao. But I'm really happy to see that, you know, Mini's able to get that composure just fine. Osam was as a step up towards the end. Bibu looked okay as well. This is still a very interesting game on our hands, and I think you're right. Starting on the defense is going to make Nuke so much more exciting. But, of course, that's going to be after a break, so we'll see you then. Welcome back, everybody. We're about to go live once again with map number 2, and that was a really good recovery towards the end. JiJieHao did a fantastic job at least telling us that, you know, they're here to stay, they're here to be relevant in map 2, and although they're not quite able to get the win towards the end, although the choke doesn't quite finish the job for that map 1, I think map 2 and 3 could be a lot better. I think with Nuke on the table, starting on the defense, this is going to be a fun game.
It should be. Yeah, it actually really should be. I have... When we started off Dust 2, and when we got to sort of the end of the first half, and then the pistol was lost, and it was like 12-3, I had very low expectations for Nuke. Now I actually have very high expectations for Nuke. After the resurgence that we saw out of JiJieHao's CT side, I think starting off on this defense could actually yield them a lot of early rounds. But we'll see how comfortable they are on the power plant, because I haven't really seen all too much from them here. They've completely given up the outside control in the pistol. They're stacked up towards the bomb sites themselves. Had a lot of presence on A early, but they have started to disperse a little bit now, as sort have really started to stretch their legs. It seems like the destination is the lower site, but they're kind of all over the place right now. Okay, that'll do it. That'll do it for sure. I've a little shot out of Mini as well. I think that's probably going to be...
a little bit of resistance here, but the kills need to come in a little bit sooner. Bomb halfway takedown. Look at how they're playing this. They're bringing both of their resources back to heaven. Mini starting to stick the bomb. Dooley's good to hold. Are they going to expect Agile? Wow, that is an unbelievable couple of kills from Kumao. It really looked like Saw had that under control, didn't it? A 4v2 with post-plant position set up, but an unbelievable dualies round.
Yeah, one of those. One of those. That was a 5 versus 2. They found the triple entry. They had loads of room as well. They'd found all the way around outside, and yeah, had multiple options as to which bomb site to hit, but the Julie's getting them back in. Kumail's been a big piece, and Mini has got his AWP out so early. And that's now real scary.
Bottom bomb site on the menu for Saw, but getting any real control here seems a little difficult. I mean, you might be able to get the bomb down, but JiJieHao, look at how they're playing this. They want to make sure all their resources are in order before they even start a retake. This 5v3 is going to be difficult to hold on to. Someone needs to make a move here from Saw. Agile needs to get up close, maybe try and at least send the numbers before this becomes a bigger problem. That's Osama's with 1. Miteris wanted to circle around. Does try and provide some pushback, but holding on to it against 2 is an exercise in impossibility, and it's just a matter of time before they get on the bomb and get this job done. Agile doesn't expose himself till the very end. Bomb's planted behind the silo. It doesn't matter if he can get the kills. JiJieHao, 2-0 start. And the narrative that we were painting about them being good on the defense already has the first few signs showing.
It really does. It really, really does. And you've got that AWP out round 2 as well. Mini just finding massive impact with it. I think that's the scariest prospect for Saw right now. It seems wild to put so much weight on like one individual and one weapon that he wields, but it's just the impact that he was having with it on the CT side of Dust 2. Things getting a little bit sloppier on the A site though. No kills being found, and it does all fall onto Mini. I think 1v5 is a little too much of an ask. We will back away and save, but a better round out of Saw, and I like it, you know, just the response with a little bit of a tempo shift, saying when we've been playing slow, we've been picked off by that sniper. Let's run it down, not give him the opportunity.
Okay, sorry for the slight hiccup, folks. Just figuring something out on my end. Josh, you around?
I'm here. Hello.
Okay, great. We're both on the same page. I'm glad there was a technical pause because I had to sort something out as well.
And you're telling me it wasn't for you? We didn't hold up all the players in the game?
I mean, maybe we did.
Maybe we did.
I'm just trying to have some humility. Unfortunately for JiJieHao, they're gonna have a difficult time sort of pulling off what Saw did in the first map. Obviously, that was a bit of a blockbuster performance, but with the way Mini is playing at the moment, and with the way Mini was towards the end of that first map, I think his game is still far from over.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you. I'm absolutely with you. I think there needs to be a decent share around it to start this off for JiJieHao. I don't think that like a 6-6 or a 7-5 would cut it. By the nature of how the CT side of Nuke works and how just their CT side was versus their T side on Dust 2. To me, I'm looking at 8 as a bit of a minimum here for JiJieHao to say, yeah, we can get this done. But we'll see. Nuke can be a bit of an AWPer's playground, even on that T side. So if Mini really is here to play, he could dish out the damage and continue his impact. Of course, he does need a bit of support from some of those other hitters as well. Bibu went very quiet on map 1, but we're used to him being up at the top of the scoreboard, so it would be nice to see him show up. Kumail's been impressing me as well. Kumail, it kind of blows my mind. It's like the best genes I've ever seen in terms of like aging. He's 19. He's 19. I'm not being toxic, but like, he doesn't look 19. Go look at his HLTV picture.
Like Kumail?
Yeah. Or even the one there, but it's just smaller. I'm just, you know.
Are you saying he looks... I mean, I
younger, definitely. He looks like 12. No?
I don't know. I feel like the picture doesn't do him justice. I can kind of
Maybe.
see it. He's got like a he's got like a CIS teenager look to him.
Maybe. I don't even mean it in a toxic way. You know, it's one of those things that as a teenager, you're grumpy about it. You're like, oh, I wish I had a
You know
beard
that
and looked older. But you get older, man, genes like that make you look young forever. It's a superpower.
you know that one like viral video where there's a guy going around with a mic asking people if they're like using steroids or if they're natural, and one of the guys clearly looks like he's 50 years old, and he's like, "What do you think, man? Of course I'm not natural. I'm 22 years old."
Ugh. Yeah,
I'm
I don't know. I have friends from school that like, well, like not really so much friends with them anymore, but like people that when I was back at school, I'd look at and they were always like a bit bigger or had a bit of facial hair, and I used to like really envy that. I used to be like, oh man, I hate my little baby face, right? And now we're like in our mid-20s and they're like fully bald, like
yeah.
they look like 40 odd.
I've been like lucky in that department as well, because like my parents also have relatively youthful genes, and we tend to retain a full head of hair for a very long time. Like you can tell I have a surplus, so if the hair fall starts now, it'll still be a while.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Dude, one of the
Unless
like
your hair starts receding. You know how weird your hair would look if like your hairline started receding, and I guess like
I
I guess like the
I guess,
fuzziness
but
could just cover it over.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I have like a pre-receded hairline, so my hairline already starts like pretty far back, and it's been that way since I was like 12. But it's not gotten worse. And I
Right.
can just like my curls just fall over it anyway, so it's like it really doesn't matter. Dude, you know,
Yeah.
like if we're talking about like age and CS, the craziest revelation to me was that Chopper is my age. I'm like, what? No way. I was like, I genuinely thought Chopper was like in contention with like the
55.
Carragans of the world.
Yeah, no, I also would have guessed. I also would have guessed like 30 odd or something.
Mm.
That's crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, yeah. As I get older, I'm happier with the youthful genes. My I'm hoping, right, because there's a couple of different ways this goes. Because my dad's dad is like basically bald. He's like an old man with, you know, you get like the old man hair where it's just receded so much, so you just have like a little patch on the top kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my mum's dad on the other side, he looks like President Snow. He hasn't lost like, he's like 90 and he just has like long white hair that's like swept back. And I don't even think like it's not even like receded at all. It's crazy. So if I get those genes, oh my God, I'm going to be like the coolest grandpa.
That is so impressive.
I'm going to wear like, I'm gonna really lean into it. I'm gonna wear like really extravagant suits with my long white hair.
Uh-huh.
Because it depends what kind of job I have or wealth I have at that age. Maybe it doesn't work me being in the care home looking like a baller.
I mean, I would say, oh, like you're expected to just get wealthier and have a better career, right? But with the state of the world, I feel like
Yeah, no.
you and I are just gonna turn into
Unlucky.
livestock.
Yep.
It's fun times.
Yep.
I can't wait to be in the market for a house and just have to not only sign off myself, but also like 3 generations further down for a mortgage.
Yep, the robots are taking over.
I think that might actually become a thing where people are like, oh, okay, this mortgage is like 200 years, so you can make a commitment now for 5 generations.
They're already like in dog. You know, I was about to use the word clanker, and then I was like, oh no, that's a derogatory term. I was like, hang on a minute, right? They're already paving the path. They're already getting into our heads for when they take over.
That is so funny. Listen,
We're cooked.
there
We
will be
are
a time
cooked.
there will be a time when you and I are when you and I have a little chat bot to replace ourselves, the only way we'll be able to discern ourselves on broadcast and on the internet is by being mildly offensive.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like a little password.
Yeah. Only, yeah. That's it. That's it. You're right. Because the robots won't know how to, but they will. They will.
I mean,
I bet they can like. I bet they can analyze all of our like cast and all of our data, and then just take like our mannerisms and everything. That's where we're at right now. We are fully cooked. Give us a year, then I'm homeless.
I saw this one post where it was like, also to the viewers, obviously, like this technical pause is a lot longer, so you're just gonna have to put up with us because there's really not a whole lot to dissect about these two teams. But, so there was this post where it said that they are developing, and I use they very broadly because I have no idea who they is. They're developing these large tanks full of like algae and water to simulate trees for the sake of putting them in cities without like the massive trees but still getting the benefits. So like they're just supposed to be like tanks full of tree material, right? Like tanks full of just water and algae that pulls off the same job as trees. And that was good. Like I was like, okay, you know what? That could be useful, like I guess. And then someone in the comments just photoshopped that image for those tanks full of green liquid to look like blood instead. And I was like, oh, we're making making tanks full of synthetic human juice to replace humans in cities. I was like, okay, that's bad.
Yeah. Fine. I don't know. But then is it really that much easier to have big tanks of water with like green in them than just planting some trees? Why are we always trying to find complicated solutions for anything other than just like
the idea behind that is that the roots of trees do a lot of damage to the cities. So there's probably some guy on a spreadsheet thinking, okay, so tree costs this much in repairs, tank costs this much to refill, tank better.
Tree costs this much in repairs. What are you talking about?
Because
tree is resilient. Tree's been around for billions of years. Tree grows and fixes itself.
But here's the thing.
Tree
it
can
destroys
grow
the city.
Back. We haven't even worked out how to do that. Whatever.
Like apparently it's supposed to damage the concrete, but I mean I don't know why we're prioritizing the concrete over
all
trees.
Concrete, yeah. Agreed.
Fun times.
Well, sorry about the really long break, folks. I've got the chat open and people are kind of yapping. Someone said they paused the game to talk about receding hairlines. It's true. We actually kicked us out of the server as well, and we were like, give us the floor for a minute.
This is actually an advertisement for a Turkish hair clinic.
Yeah, someone said talk about aliens, and you don't want to get me started. You don't want to get me started. We'll be here for hours.
Josh Jones.
Yeah, yeah. I am like a big. I every day I become like more and more like I don't even know the word for it, but I just go more deeper and deeper into that like rabbit hole. I am like fully convinced, like Anunnaki, and like the moon's hollow. For as I'm telling you, the moon is hollow, and it's a spaceship, and it was transported here, and they put it here to then create life, and you know, and that's
okay, but I raise you this, but I raise you this. How is this helping me pay the rent?
It is not. It is not. It's directly stopping you. The Rothschilds live inside the moon, and they're stopping you from paying the rent. They've got these little rays, these little laser rays that are pointed directly at you, stopping you from getting bitches,
getting a reasonable. Yeah, basically, like stopping me from getting a real job.
Yep.
There's just constantly, they've got like these 7 gigahertz rays pointed at my brain, telling me to keep playing video game and do video game job instead of real job with real money.
Exactly.
Good times.
That's what HARP's for. The big HARP system in the US. That's what that's for. It doesn't
God.
just control and
I don't
manipulate
want
the
you to
weather
go.
and the,
I
and
don't
the
want you to go
ionosphere.
down that rabbit hole. Like I know what you're talking about, but I fear the context of what it's always talked about with it's. I think it might be a little deadly on Twitch, my guy.
I'm telling you,
Someone
man.
said
These.
I've heard enough. 1v1. Okay, Josh. Dude, so it's crazy. Like I've dropped down to 2001 elo. I am 1 elo away
You've
from being a
still been
loser.
scared to play. You told me this weeks ago. You've still been scared to play.
No. I went back up to like 2100 and I went back down to 2001.
You suck. You suck. You suck. No, we're not 1v1 him. We're not 1v1 him. I was liking the conspiracy talk. I'm telling you, man, it's these rays that's stopping me from, like, it's these rays that's making me snooze my alarm 3 times in the morning. That's what I'm saying. For real. They've got a hold on me. Keeping me on Instagram Reels.
Someone said, I followed this just to say, holy yapping, I'm here for CS. Like, I hate to break it to you, but we're also here for CS, and we haven't gotten much CS.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I genuinely didn't get out of bed to speak to Josh about receding hairlines, but here we are. Or speak to Josh at all, actually. I kind of hate him, but...
But yeah, no, I watch a lot of like, so there's this channel, I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but there's one channel that I really like, it's called the Y-Files, and it's like loads and loads of like just really interesting like conspiracy stuff, and it's always like a breakdown. What?
Did you say Y-Files?
Yeah.
As in someone obsessed with their wife?
No, why? Like what?
Oh, Y-Files. Okay.
Y-Files.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're
Okay,
always
that
super interesting. And then I watch a lot of like the Joe Rogan podcast, and a lot of the time he has really interesting guests that talk about like all sorts of alien stuff. But that was sort of rooted from years ago, right? Growing up, I used to watch a show with my dad, and it was on like this like stupid TV channel called Blaze that runs like into the night, and it has like three programs that's like Ancient Aliens, Aussie Gold Hunters, like Hunting Hitler, which was like this sort of conspiracy about Hitler moving to South America after the war, and then they're trying to like find evidence of that being the case. There's actually a lot of really compelling stuff with that. It's like leaked CIA documents where whether or not it's true, the CIA were like looking into the possibility of that, and it's interesting. It's a story for another time. But yeah, this
another
this
place, hopefully.
show. Yeah, and another place. Yeah, this show, Ancient Aliens, was unhinged. It was just every single week, like just a completely ridiculous like narrative that contradicts last week's narrative, like in its entirety. It's like they're not compatible at all. But yet it's the same guests that are like adamantly speaking as if this is the truth.
It's like the expert. You know how some industries just have like a half-life of knowledge expiring like very quickly. So like you know how like in psychology things just progress at such a rapid rate. I think like at some point the half-life of information there was like 5 years, where there would be new research or like better research to replace everything or like half of everything. In that particular show, what you're suggesting is that the half-life of information is like 1 week. Like the researchers are either just so good or so bad that they're getting better every week.
Yeah.
Not only that, they're also contradicting themselves. I love it.
Pretty much, yeah. But the experts aren't even like, you know, the experts are just self-proclaimed experts. You know, when you get like experts on these kind of shows, and it will show their title, and it will be, there's this person talking, and there's a little box that comes up in the bottom, and it says like, you know, it says their name, and then it says their profession. It's normally like, you know, they were a professor at this institute or whatever. Yeah. This most
for
of the
you
time
it would say something like
alien expert, and it's like
what? Where's the degree from?
As alien expert? Where's the certificate that says that? So yeah, I think they were just
a doctor of philosophy at bullshitting.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a bullshit expert.
You know, it's like sometimes something pops up in the right and you're just like appalled, like where it just says something like proud student, dedicated child, expert parent. I'm like, what is going on?
Dedicated child.
Yeah, dedicated, like stay at home 26-year-old son. That's me.
Yeah, for real. No,
I love it.
I feel that.
People,
We've actually got a few Wi-Files fans in the chat as well. AJ's a really likable guy. He's really cool. You should go watch that. I'm going to send you some videos, and then you're going to be. I've watched all of them. I've watched every single video he's ever done, which is kind of crazy because there's hundreds and they're all like 40 minutes long. But yeah, you're going to go down the rabbit hole, and then tomorrow you're going to wake up fried, and you're going to turn up to our cast, and your brain is going to be just like exploding.
Yeah, someone wrote, I have work at 6 and I'm watching, let's get this started, gang. Spot Osama's $1 each for Wi-Fi. Not a bad idea. We should have like a portal to pay for like computers and Wi-Fi and stuff for the pros, and anyone can just like use Venmo or Cash App or something, whatever you guys have, to contribute to it. Yeah,
right.
I think Bibu could pull it off for sure, because like his Discord.
Maybe we can have one of those for us as well, just to like for like takeaway and snacks.
Dude, the problem is, right, I don't trust you with any power that relates to an audience. Like, you're fine as long as you're in your box where you have to do your state mandated commentary.
Yeah, okay.
But I feel like as soon as someone wants to watch you for you and not for the CS, you will go off the rails, and then I'll have to medicate you heavily.
Yeah, no, I do fully. We I was streaming on my own channel once, and I remember like it was just like a normal like game. I think it was an NA game, and Daps came into the chat, and like the conversation instantly just like completely derailed from Counter-Strike, and we were talking about like American gun laws and like and it really derailed real quick. But yeah, just to give a little bit of insight, so Osama is having issues with connecting to Across. So in terms of like, you know, if he DC'd and there's a power cut and he's gone and no one's heard from him, then I think sort of the ruling's a little bit different in terms of map forfeits and things. But he is here and he is sort of trying to continuously reconnect to the server, but he is having just issues with the Across anti-cheat, which is common. That doesn't, you know, that doesn't mean anything. It's just Across is notoriously unreliable and breaks a lot. So yeah, that's just sort of that. There's been a couple of questions about, do we think that Simple's going to go crazy later? Probably. He's gone crazy in every game, but I'm not sure they win. And someone said, does Saw win the major? No. I'm not even sure they qualify for the major, to be honest. Yeah, experts agree. No, even the alien experts agree. No. Unlucky. I'm sorry. I like them, but I will... what will I do if Saw win the major? I'll get a Saw tattoo. I'll do it.
Please don't.
No, I'll do it.
Okay.
I think it's a cool logo. As logos go, yeah. If they win the major, I'll do it.
I think I could rock JiJieHao's logo, but without the text.
Yeah, okay, without the text, sure, yeah. I was going to say with the text, it's like a real gamer logo.
Did you guys see this stuff about Mars microbial life forms on leopard pattern rocks? What?
Are you for real? I'm going to Google it.
That's I mean,
oh, what's this? I used to work only night shifts for just over 2 years. Had all the time to listen to podcasts and books. Wi-Files and JRE were the best to listen to. Time flew by. Topic is super interesting. Yeah. It's a bit of like a time killer, but yeah. I can't get enough of them. Like an hour flies by.
Also, if you have a particularly long commute, or like if you have a consistent commute in your day, like if I go to the gym back and forth, it takes me like 25 to 30 minutes, then just squeezing in a podcast in your car is just like so comfortable. Because like if you're just driving alone, like you have, it helps you just stay sane. Yeah. Also, I think music can get tiring after a while.
Okay, so I'm looking this up. This is actually something really recent. This was like 2 weeks ago. NASA's Perseverance rover has found leopard spots on Martian rock nicknamed Chayava Falls, and found in the Jezero crater.
Whatever you read, be careful.
potential biosignature of ancient microbial life. So there's like loads of these like conspiracy things, and there's like multiple sort of like videos and podcasts and stuff I watched talking about this, about ancient life on Mars. I don't think anyone's really disputing that there is currently life on the surface of Mars, at least. Some people dispute that there's life underneath the surface of Mars, which is maybe a stretch, but
which is obviously correct.
But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff around ancient life on Mars. There was like a CIA project to do like remote viewing to like ancient Mars, and there was reports of seeing civilizations and stuff, and it's all like super crazy stuff where they just pumped a load of people on acid in the 60s and then said, transport your brain to Mars, what do you see? And yeah, it's kind of wild. And Mars's moon Phobos as well, one of their moons, there's some really interesting stuff there. There's like a monolith structure that isn't particularly natural, and yeah, they sort of say that could be an ancient structure and things. So yeah, there's some interesting stuff surrounding like the signatures of ancient microbial life on Mars. That could be something.
There's definitely a lot of
Simple is
stories.
live streaming Valorant with Nico. No way. Let's go watch that instead.
Wait, he's what, actually?
No, he's not. Someone just told me. This is like such a copy pasta at the moment. Everyone keeps posting that.
Okay. Okay. I mean, so I've been like for the sake of my mental health, I try not to open Twitch chat, and not just when I'm on a broadcast. I tend to not read Twitch chat all that too often, so I'm like not familiar with the copy pastas. I get it. I'm getting old. 27 is coming up very soon, so I'm gonna need a cane soon in a retirement home package. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of cool things to talk about when it comes to ancient history. For one, I mean, dinosaurs were obviously intentionally killed off because they weren't producing enough shareholder value.
Yeah, for real. It was the Rothschilds again.
Yeah.
That live in the moon. Yep. They were like, yeah, get these dinosaurs out of here.
It really sucks because their massive hands and feet just can't operate any fine machinery that's needed to produce iPhone 20s.
Pretty much.
For the moon, of course.
Yeah, pretty much. Someone asked if parlay is still here, if it's a forfeit. I don't think this is going to be a forfeit, but as far as I'm aware, it takes that game out of the parlay. So the odds will then decrease because there's one less leg in it, but it doesn't chalk the whole parlay. It just removes that leg from it, basically. And also someone asked what elo we are. We're both like around 2K, right? We're both like just about borderline level 10s. So
yeah, but
we know what we're talking about. We don't.
Yeah, my only defense is that I play like 2 games a month now, and there was a time when I was actually like competitive.
Yeah, I don't play very much anymore either.
I've made the bare minimum of having.
What's your peak elo? Like,
I think
mine's like 2,400 or something. I've never been like crazy high.
I was around the same, especially because I've only ever like solo queued. Like, or even if I like play with a team, it would just be the league matches. It wouldn't be Face It. I get really tired of playing things like Face It, I think.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was like playing a little bit, and like, I mean, I've done the I've gotten the HLTV pilgrimage and gotten a profile for playing a couple of matches, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm jealous, actually. I'm jealous. That's the Middle East buff right there. You get.
I guess my only claim to saying I'm not like garbage at the game is that I played pretty well against players that are currently pros. So, and that match is recorded. So,
someone said the monolith's debunked. Yeah, I have seen all sorts of stuff. People like debunking it. It's still an interesting topic, but yeah, it's not a monolith. I don't think. But I don't know. The people that debunk things are the people that don't want you knowing the truth. This is dragging though. I'm actually starting to wonder. We are now getting into the realms of like, if Asamus doesn't reconnect soon, then maybe they might need to get a sub in or forfeit the map or something, which is a real shame. But
it's the Rothschilds again.
It's the Rothschilds again.
They're
trying to
beaming. They're
screw up
beaming
our
a
game.
9 gigahertz frequency directly into Akros anti-cheat.
Exactly. Specifically for Osamas. Ay, ay, ay. Why do they keep screwing my life? Why do they keep messing it up? Making me sleepy all the time.
Yeah, trust me, bro. It has nothing to do with waking up at 2 p.m. You know what's really bad? My legitimate schedule, like my routine became to wake up at like 5 p.m. and fall asleep at 7 a.m. And sometimes it gets really bad because, like, you know, sometimes you and I do like South American games and things like that, and I get used to being up at like 4 a.m. for a broadcast, and then you do that a couple of nights, then your body just never goes back. It's just like, okay, I'm South American now.
Yep. I feel that. It really like kind of cooks you because it's a different kind of it's a different kind of screwing your sleep pattern as to like when you go away. If I go to like the US or something, you're jet lagged, but you're jet lagged for a couple of days, and then you just got to put yourself right back on that schedule. But yeah, you stay up until like 5 a.m. and it screws you up. It's also kind of a superpower. I remember the last time I went to the US and I was like in like a pretty crappy sleep schedule where I was waking up at like midday when I didn't have like early morning casts and stuff. And then you go there, and I remember waking up at like 6 a.m. or something, and I was like super, it felt like I'd slept until midday because that's like the 6 hours. And I was like, right, yeah, I'm wide awake, I'm ready to go. I went for a swim at 6 in the morning. The hotel had a pool, it was completely empty, it was just me. I was just doing laps. I was like, yeah,
I
I'm
bet
chilling.
that feels good.
Yeah, it felt insane. And then they had like a little jacuzzi, and I went and sat in that for a bit, and I had my laptop and I got a bit of work done, and I was like, man, this is what being a CEO must feel like. But yeah, I've been chasing that high ever since, basically. I don't know how to make my body feel like that every day. I think I need to just fly back and forth from the US and just trick my body into waking up at 6 a.m. and not being sleepy. The Rothschilds can't get me if I keep going back and forth by plane. They can't keep up.
Casters, have you seen the X-Files of Saul winning the major? Oh, dude, like, yeah, it was classified documents where Muterus was mentioned.
Yeah, it was all redacted, but we got sneak peeks.
Yeah, you know when they, like, upload leaked documents and it's just, like, 50 black bars, and then it just says, and then there's another black bar, and then it says, therefore, more black bars.
More black bars, 75 pages of it, and then at the end it says, and that's how Saw wins the major.
What's really funny is that I'm not going to name names, but one of the organizers in CS was apologizing for something. Well, at least one of the faces behind one of the faces of the organizers of CS, they were apologizing for something publicly on Twitter, and they had and because they were like trying to go line by line, and they were trying to give context for who they were apologizing to, and they were trying to explain away a situation. They were also they also put a lot of stuff in the document that was like blacked out to like hide people's privacy and like their contact information and addresses and stuff like that. Not exactly sure what the specific information was because I didn't read into it too much, but I remember that if you open the document and just dragged across the text, you could unhighlight it. So then, like, anyone on Twitter could just get access to all that information. I was like, oh my god, this just made the situation so much worse.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you later. I just don't want to start shit on another broadcast channel, or I'd say it.
Fine. Can't believe we have Trotter fans in the chat. Unbelievable.
Is that a streamer?
Yeah, sort of.
Okay.
He does like he like co-streams a lot of CS matches. He's just some guy. My friend lives with him, actually.
Some guy, and then your friend lives with him. Like,
yeah.
you are You're like one mutual away from being his friend.
from being in his bed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for real. For real.
Sometimes.
I'm hoping that we'll get a little bit more information soon, folks, because, yeah, it actually has been a really long time now.
Yeah, I fear if Josh and I are if Josh and I are on Discord for too long, unattended, and if we forget that there are in fact cameras and microphones pointed at us, things are going to get bad. And I live in Pakistan. The economy is bad enough that if I have to do anything other than commentate Counter-Strike, you won't see me around for too much longer.
You will hear him though, because your phone will start ringing and he'll be trying to scam you.
Yeah. I do have a real estate opportunity for you, Josh. Yeah.
That's gonna happen one day. You're gonna retire and be like, yeah, I think I'm done with commentary, and then like 3 weeks later I'm gonna get a phone call and it's gonna be one of those cold call or scam calls. I'm gonna be like, Faraz? You're like, no.
I mean, obviously this is like a very chill broadcast, right? But like obviously you and I, considering we do CS and like stuff on camera for a living at this point, I have actually been offered a role in real estate to be a spokesperson. And then
what does that actually mean?
It means like you're the person that helps them do like be the front facing person for like their videos, and like if someone wants to talk if they want to like show you around houses or real estate, like you become that person, because they just need someone who has like a bunch of energy and they're good at making videos and like directing people who do edits and stuff like that. But then I just decided to launch CS, and I was like, I'm done with this.
I'm a player pug.
Yeah, I think I might actually queue like 7 facets instead of getting a job.
Yeah, for real. I get that. I keep finding myself, because I like just a lot of the time don't have the energy to like play CS. I keep finding myself just playing like brain rot games. I've been playing like Storage Hunter Simulator and Trading Card Shop Simulator, bit of Power World. True, just, you know, nothing games, just killing time. Right, we do have a bit of info. If he doesn't connect in the next 2 minutes, that's the timer he's got, the next 2 minutes, then
dude, watch the clutch. Just watch the clutch.
Then he's cooked and it's a forfeit. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
I trust in Osama's. I think he has this.
Nothing beats a trotter.
We've actually now come up on the time where map 3 should have started.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, when a broadcast starts, you essentially have, like, an hour dedicated per possible map, right? Because if it's
pretty much.
Like, for me, if it goes from, like, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., it's, like, 3 hours. And we're coming up on the final hour of the broadcast. Not in metaphorical terms, I mean, like, quite literally.
Someone said nothing beats a trotter chair tackle. Really gets you going, man. I feel like I need to add context to this. He just, every now and again, like, he gets out of his chair and just, like rugby tackles it like to the floor, and it gets you going. It gets the blood pumping. We want you can't have trotter, you get us. Are they saying anything in game chat? We actually can't see game chat. Sometimes that's for the best because players get mean. Someone's out, trotter in. Yeah, okay, I'm with that. I'll message him. Neither of us are doing a chair tackle as well. I absolutely don't have room for that. Faraz, you have room to do a chair tackle?
No.
Right, he's got 1 minute. Okay. Well, I don't know about your Windows clock, but for me, it says 12.
Yep, same.
Might be cooked.
Yeah, I think it's probably GG, but we'll see. Still waiting for word from admins. What if they're just typing in chat? No, he's back for real this time.
For real. Give us just 2 more minutes.
Okay, yeah, we're just waiting for the admin's confirmation, and as soon as we know, we'll let you guys know as well. I mean, it's been a really fun time anyway. Aliens, Mars, life forms, trees.
Yep. Pesky Rothschilds.
Mm-hmm. Aren't you glad you didn't have to sit through a timeout? Because at least then the viewers have the option of tuning in, right? Like, if it's just a break screen, then, well, I mean, you have nothing but waiting to do.
We actually have more viewers than we did when we started in the in the break screen as well, by the way. But yeah, sorry about that, folks. So that is confirmation from the admins. It is going to be a forfeit. So Sora are your match winners. That's a real shame because I think JiJieHao had some real momentum going there at the end of Dust 2 and the start of Nuke. I think we could have seen a 3-mapper and something a little bit closer. But yeah, unfortunate. And yeah, thanks for sticking around with us for all of the yap and all of the comments in the chat and whatnot. That was good fun. I enjoyed that. But that does mean that Saw are going to be in the quarterfinals facing up against Ents, which should be a really good match, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a really fun watch. And the rest of the bracket is also shaping up to look incredibly good. So I'm really excited for this. I'm a little disappointed because I wanted to see more from JiJieHao. Like, and when I say that, I don't mean like in terms of performance. Like, I quite literally wanted to see more of the game, like actually be played out. Yeah, like because map 1 left us with such a tease, right? Like, what a comeback towards the end. Like, I wanted to see more of Mini. I wanted to see more of Osama's turn up. But unfortunately, Osama's quite literally didn't show up to the server on map 2. So that's a little bit disappointing. But any preliminary thoughts before we close it out for an hour-long break, Josh?
I don't think so. As I say, thank you so much to all of you keeping us company in chat and bearing with us for that long technical pause. Sorry for the JiJieHao fans and betters. It's never a nice way for it to go, but yeah, sometimes that is just the way the cookie crumbles. That's going to wrap things up, though. Yeah, as you say, for our first series of the day, we've got a bit of an extended break, around about an hour or so. And when we return, we will be back with our second semi-final. It's going to be BetBoom versus Partizan. It should be a pretty good game. Partizan haven't been on the best of form, but they've won their last few matches. And yeah, they might be ready with Aid Kit as their newest addition to take down the Titans of BetBoom. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, be back here in 1 hour, and we'll be waiting with the action. See you all soon.